Stepping into this room. As I said, it feels claustrophobic and boundless at the same time. By which I mean you can feel this darkness closing in on you like it's pressing in. But at the same time, you can't feel the bounds of the rooms. You can't feel walls nearby. It's just empty space that stretches out. And there's this focal point ahead of you. And as Raazu comes into the room, stepping in behind Windy, you are at first notice only the darkness. But then you see this kind of ambient glow along the floor, shedding dim light throughout the entire space. And you cannot perceive walls. You can still perceive the door that you came back. If you look back, you can see Adrex on the other side of the door coming in behind you. And Ayashara and Birdie behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And looking forward, the just ambient glow coming from the floor. You're walking through maybe a half inch of water. And it's this water or this liquid that's giving off the glow. And it's incredibly cold. And it seems to get colder and the glow seems to get stronger towards the center, question mark, of this space. Which is what you are feeling drawn towards. And this is what you each in turn experience as you step into the space.
I'd like to do a quick test, Raazu, if you don't mind.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take out the darkness candle and light it, and see if it, and ask Raazu if she can still see the glow, or which wins essentially.
No, the darkness candle banishes the glow.
All right, I'll put it back out so that Raazu can see.
Does anybody have a passive perception that beats a 20?
Nope.
Yes.
Birdie?
Yeah.
Birdie, as you step into the room...
Red does as well. Sorry.
Okay, as Birdie is red, bringing up the rear, step into the room. You two are aware, very far away, off in the direction of this focal point, this glow that you can see in the distance. You can hear, just barely at the edge of perception, what sounds like, picture somebody whispering at the far side of a large echoey room. If you really focus on it, you can just barely hear like maybe the S's. Just this minute hissing at a far distance that could sound like speech, but is impossible to make out.
Just in case hearing that is useful later, Brick, is that beats a 20 or is it 20? Because I have a 20.
A 20 or better.
Exactly. Okay.
So yeah, and then Windy can also perceive these whisperings.
In that case, I think we should probably go inspect what that is before we get started. So I'm gonna start heading in that direction.
And
letting Wendy take the lead. And
the silence is cut.
On her shoulder.
Is cut with the sloshing sounds as Windy is stepping through this bit of water on the ground as you close in. And as you all travel forward, the whisperings do become louder to the point where all of you can perceive them. And this is very unnerving, especially for those of you who can see. Windy, you feel fine as you're walking forward. Everyone else, you know that this glow gets stronger at a particular point in the room, and the water starts to feel colder. The water is not moving in any particular direction. But you're not reaching the glow as quickly as you should. It's like each of your steps isn't taking you the correct distance. You should be able to say, oh, 30, 40 strides and I'll be at the center of this room, but 50 strides, 60 strides, and you're still not there. It's getting closer, but the rate at which it's getting closer is unnerving and frustrating.
Raazu will express that to Windy.
And it sounds like it's getting louder at the rate that I would expect, right?
Yeah, the whispers are getting louder at a rate that feels comfortable in as much as disembodied whispers can ever feel comfortable.
Yeah. And I'll tell Raazu that if it's really bothering her, just close your eyes and listen to the whispers.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not heebie-jeebied by it. I'm saying
sure. I'm just saying your eyes might be lying to you.
And eventually, Windy, you're the first to hear a crack under your feet, as instead of stepping down into water, you step onto a rivulet or a vein of ice, very brittle, that cracks under your feet. And these become more and more common. At first, it's just a vein here like a rivulet there, and eventually it's as though the entire plane of the floor has a super thin sheet of ice that you're breaking through with each step.
Raazu, is that light still increasing?
It is, but not quickly enough for your taste.
Yeah, Raazu.
You should have reached it by now.
Raazu would have explained that when she first noticed it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Raazu.
Hey.
Eventually you notice that there is a maybe a statue or some kind of object that you're heading towards that the glow seems to be focused on. And again, you're still not reaching it as quickly as you would like. It seems like every step it gets further. It's like it's moving away from you, but you can tell that it's stationary. It's not moving. And eventually the ice is thick enough that your feet are no longer breaking through it. You're just walking on this sheet of it. And
this would be a really shitty place to get into a fight. Raazu mutters under her breath.
It's not slippery. It's not difficult to walk on. You're not in danger of falling. Especially considering if you stomp your feet real hard, you'll pound through it and get to the stone floor underneath. But after a few moments, you realize that the thing you're looking at has a vaguely humanoid appearance. It has 2 arms and legs, and it's standing upright. And it looks like it might be about Raazu's height.
Raazu will tell Wendy that we're approaching the statue, and she'll describe it.
So do you think it's a statue, or do you think it's a standing-up coffin?
It's definitely not a coffin because you can see the
It
limbs.
definitely has. I can definitely see distinct arms on this thing, so I'm pretty sure.
Oh, sure, but I mean, you could make a coffin to shape a person.
And as you get closer, you can see that the creature is... It looks emaciated. As you get close enough to see its features, it has this smooth, pallid skin. And it's not wearing anything. It has no clothing or coverings on at all. Just naked flesh. And the flesh looks pallid and sickly. Its ribcage is poking out of this just stretched and gaunt skin. The limbs have too many bends. The hands, the appendages, have too many fingers. And the thing's face, it's upwards, and its eyes are open, and the eyes are just black orbs. And it's encased in this thin layer of ice. And the whisperings get louder and louder as you approach it.
Alright, so, Raazu, if you can see it just fine, I think if it was going to start trying to take one of us over, it would have done it by now. Do you want to go side by side so that you have an angle to use your whip, if need be?
Raazu nods. Moves to stand shoulder to shoulder to Wendy.
Okay.
Motions for the others to form up behind her.
Okay.
All right, let's keep getting closer.
How close do you want to get to it, Raazu?
Probably about 10 feet.
Coming that close, you're aware on the ground in front of the things are several objects. Surrounding it, you see 6 iron chalices. They're unadorned. They don't have any jewels on them. They're not made of precious metals, but they're filled with some kind of liquid that's not frozen. And maybe more surprisingly is the base of each of these chalices they're not frozen into the ice. They're sitting on top of it. And they're set, the 6 of them, in a hexagonal pattern around the creature. The creature's face, the only features it has are the eyes. It has no nose, no mouth, no ears. And looking over the rest of it, you don't see any other openings in it. It doesn't have dangly bits. It doesn't seem to have any apparatus by which to breathe if it were going to have gills or something like. It doesn't have any hair on it. Sitting in front of the creature, again, just sitting on top of the ice, you see a longsword that's been broken into maybe 8 large pieces and then countless smaller ones to the point where it's almost sitting on a bed of just iron powder. And that's the scene.
Huh.
Raazu grips her weapon.
Does anyone have anything they want to do before we get started here?
Is this the only thing? So is this the only thing in here?
That's it. There's the creature in the center of the chamber. And you guys can go ahead and position yourself how close you want to be to it.
What are the size of the squares?
These are 5-foot squares.
5-foot squares.
And you can place Ayashara where you'd like her to be as well.
So we were, what, about 10 feet away from the statue?
Well, that was
You
weird.
were. I was assuming everybody else was further out. That's 15 feet away. That's 10 feet away. And yeah, getting this close to it, it is fairly tall. It's about 7 feet tall, but it is humanoid in size. It's a medium size. And
Is Ayashara using a bow or a knife?
she has both, but right now she has her bow knocked.
Okay.
Is this does this area have dim light or bright light?
Dim light. The dim light is coming from the liquid that you've been trapping in, which now is trapped in the actual ice below.
Then in that case, I'm going to turn on my darkness candle, just in case.
Okay. And then surrounding
So-
the creature on the floor are...
Yeah, so it'll be dim light everywhere around, outside of the ring around me, which is darkness. So if you're directly next to me, you're in total dark.
And then there's this sword on the ground here that's broken into 8 or 9 large pieces and then countless smaller pieces all the way down to just iron filings.
So you swung around over to that side?
Yeah, I just didn't want to discombobulate you.
And the thing isn't moving. In fact, it looks like it can't move. It looks like it's completely frozen, encased in this... It's not a solid block of ice. The ice conforms to the shape of the creature, but it's pretty thick. It looks like maybe 3 or 4 inches thick of ice.
If someone's going to make a move, let me know, because I'll take the grasp of my whip. What I'm basically saying is I'll use my bonus action before we start rather than as we start.
So, like, what are the chances you guys think that we could just stab it to death through the ice without having to actually fight it? With
Low?
with the
Low to
Holy
0?
Ranger? Low to 0? Yeah.
Raazu goes down to one knee next to this chalice that's right in front of her.
Okay? And
Without touching it. Okay, go ahead.
it smells like honey. It's not as viscous as honey would be. And honey at the temperature would freeze. It would crystallize. But that's the smell it gets. It smells like honey.
What about the one near me?
Yeah, Raazu.
Same thing.
Once Raazu senses that, she's going to start cycling around to the other.
And as you guys are doing this, going from chalice to chalice, the whispers start to kind of coalesce around you. And they start coaxing you. Drink deeply.
That's
Once
that's a hard
Raazu
pass.
hears that, Raazu just gets this. Gets the John Carpenter's the thing. Are you fucking kidding me? Look. It starts looking at her companions.
And as you back away from the chalices, the whispers also subside.
Yeah, no, those whispers. I finally figured out what they're saying, and they're saying for us to drink these damn chalices.
Maybe. No, never. Adrex doesn't say anything.
Wendy looks around the room at the 6 of them and says, "That's an awful convenient number."
That is a
Chalices.
coincidence for the ages, yes, Wendy.
And then Wendy shrugs, but none of you can see it. How do you like it now?
No, never mind. I will say it. what are the chances that he's trying to reverse trick us into not drinking them, when in reality maybe the chalices contain some kind of like superpower?
Maybe the chalices will just wake it up. And then Wendy shrugs. We can try it after we try shooting it.
I think Raazu should get on the ice and just try to stab down repeatedly and chip away. If we can get like, I don't know, like a
I
1
don't think
foot
it's gonna work.
You have a magic sword. Whip. Whatever the hell ever it is.
Holy Avenger, get it right.
I don't know what holy means.
Can you turn the Holy Avenger into an icebreaker? Like an ice pick?
Birdie, when you say you don't know what holy means, you hear the whispers coalesce around you. Speaking, Lord Zaya is holy. Except when they speak the word holy, it's as though the word has multiple meanings. Great, powerful, treacherous, beautiful. And then the whispers dissipate just as quickly as they arrived.
That's unfortunate.
Did Birdie say that?
Yes. Yes, I did. I was like, wow, that was...
Raazu cocks her head at him and says, "What?"
And he makes kind of a circle motion, like, and he just kind of like voices.
Adrex, as Raazu and Birdie are having their exchange, the whispers coalesce around you. You're trapped. Where's the exit? The door is closed. Do you know how to get back? And you realize you have no idea what direction you came from.
And Red will walk over to here, pick up one of the chalices, and pour it out over this broken sword.
Okay, and you do so. And it pours very quickly. It's liquid. And as soon as it hits the ice, it crackles and freezes over the top of this sword. And when you go to set the chalice back down, you see that it is again full.
Pour it out on the sword again. We'll just bury the sword.
No more sword.
And Red is amusing himself playing with this ever-filling chalice. And Red, you are bombarded by the whispers. Drink it. Don't waste a drop. It is sweet. Drink deeply.
How can I waste something that's unlimited?
That's just illogical.
These voices don't know logic at all.
Raazu cocks her head at Red and says, watches what he's doing, says, "Huh. Oh, yeah, no, it sounds like the drink it option is becoming more and more likely by the minute."
Hey, Red, if you just turn the goblet upside down and put it face down.
Yeah, I'll do that. That's a good idea. Just
do
leave
that?
the goblet upside down on the spot where I picked it up.
I'll mark that with a little X.
Is it like...
Does it freeze?
No, it looks like just sitting on top of the ice.
So like no liquids coming out of it?
Nope.
Not an internal flowing. It's not a fountain, in other words.
You have to kind of flip it over.
Yeah, flip it back over, see what happens.
Sure, I'll flip it back over and see what happens.
Pick it up and flick it back over. And in a few moments, it does. You notice it's filled back up. You don't see it or hear it filling back up. It's just one moment it's empty, and the next moment you're aware that it's once again a full chalice.
Yeah, I'll just leave it where I got it. Should we do violence against this statue thing?
I don't see why not. Hey, Raazu, how many pairs of those manacles you got?
Just one. I don't know if doesn't look like the how are the arms positioned on this thing?
Just hanging at its side, not in any particular formation, or they're just hanging there.
The chain linking the manacles isn't long enough to bind this creature, if that's what you're intending.
Wendy just shrugs. Anything to hold it back.
Well, I have another option for that in that case. Don't know if it'll work, but Osprey should be with me.
And Red backs off and slings his bow off his back, nods to Wendy.
I think we have to.
Yeah, Adrex does the same.
Raazu, is your option something that you're going to do now, or do you want me to start this up?
Raazu lifts her Holy Avenger whip and looks to Wendy, or looks to the darkness where Wendy is standing, and says on three.
Sure, and Wendy
two,
will activate her whip.
Before you do that, Birdie starts digging through his pack, and he hands Red 3 of the pitch black arrows, which we don't know exactly what they do other than they're magical.
Okay.
And then I hand you of the Dragonborn arrows. I have 3. I hand you 2 of those.
Like
Okay.
the dude of the idea of the dude just showing up and just going, "Oh, stop whipping! Oh, stop! Why do you have so many whips?"
And then counting back from 3, 2, 1, Raazu cracks her whip.
Yeah, let's get
I'm
him.
assuming at the same time as Wendy does.
At the statue.
At the statue. Yeah.
Let's roll some initiative.
All right.
I know in Brickroad's notes
Wow.
somewhere there is a note of if they actually drank the chalice.
If they, well, I like to think that it's if they drink the obviously evil chalice.
I actually rolled not a butt on initiative.
I
Go me.
butted. But
Are you on 17 too?
No,
Okay.
still below Birdie though. Don't worry. Nothing's crazy.
Adrex.
yeah.
The area is only dim light, which means it's lightly obscured, which means you've got a penalty to hit.
Cool.
I think it's only a...
-2, I think.
Well, it's +2 to their AC. Yeah, that's correct. Okay.
Yeah.
We haven't
At
done
least you got
done this
sharpshooter.
Only if you're shooting a ranged weapon.
Okay.
Wait, actually, is that true? Because that would be really cool if it wasn't.
Why can't I... There we go.
Yeah, it's only ranged weapons.
Oh, Brickard, you couldn't give that to me.
Couldn't give what to you?
Me for once going ahead of the
No.
evil.
I mean, I could have, but I rolled really well, so... In fact, I rolled 2 18s.
I'm super sad.
I don't care how sad you are.
You beat Adrex.
Oh, where's our drow on the initiative?
I haven't played through just yet.
Okay.
Our spare drow.
Drow.
Yeah, we are definitely on the spare at this point.
If you guys are going to be over there, I'll go over here so there's not just darkness in between you and the creature.
The original drow didn't make it through the campaign.
Yeah, Ayashara takes up position by the other archers on this side of the creature. And, Birdie. Raazu has not yet cracked her whip. You know that's the plan, though.
Shoot him.
Yeah, okay. I'll take one of the magical black arrows
Okay.
and just hold an action to shoot the guy when he comes out of the ice.
And you knock your arrow and you're preparing to fire, and you hear the whispers around your head, and you find your gaze drawn slightly to your left at Raazu, and you hear the whispers, "Treacherous, cruel, ugly hobgoblins, shoot her, put the arrow in her, bleed her." And then,
I mean, she did whip it.
before Raazu gets a chance to do anything,
Statue reaches down and pulls out a gun. Wrong neighborhood, it says.
the sword
Garbage day.
breaks free of the ice, of the honeyed liquid over it, and shoots into the air and floats and kind of reforms. It doesn't solidify, but all of the pieces and iron shavings are where they're supposed to be. And Raazu, in the time it takes you to blink, it's on you.
Sure.
I've got a 21
Yep.
and a 17.
Not quite.
It's going to be 2 points of slashing damage,
Sure.
and you've suffered an infernal wound.
So that's the
At the start of each of your turn, you'll take 1d4 necrotic damage as this wound bleeds profusely.
okay.
That's going to bring us to Windy.
All right, and I see the sword reach up and go to attack Raazu, and I'm just like, all right, well, we can take that out first. I'm going to head over and I'm going to go whip it.
Okay. So how much radius does your darkness have?
It is, so past the direct distance around me, so if you are directly next to me, you are in darkness.
Okay.
If you're outside of that, you're in dim light, but we're already in dim light.
Okay. Windy, in this position, though, Adrex does not have eyes on anything beyond. All he can see is your darkness.
That's fine, he can move and shoot the sword with everyone else.
Yeah, it's his problem now. Okay, go ahead.
But Adrex, I'm sure, doesn't like living swords any more than I do.
Who does?
The sword is floating, which is almost like flying.
Alucard.
We'll all be dead before it gets to my turn.
Hopefully.
That's a crit. Alright. I'm going to... What is the name of that ability? I always forget because it's one with the blade.
Okay.
Sharpen the blade?
No, sharpen the blade is what I use to give myself the +3. I already did that. I'm giving your attacks with your Kensei weapons. When you hit a target, you can spend 1 key point to cause the weapon to deal extra damage equal to your martial arts die once per turn. I'm going to do that on the crit.
Okay.
Add two martial arts dice to it.
Wendy's never beat up a sword before.
Nothing.
Oh,
Whoa,
that's
that's
true.
bizarre. All right. Oh God. So
Dice
that's
everywhere.
uh 27 damage from the first hit.
And the sword
Magical slashing?
shatters.
Oh hell yeah.
And it falls to the floor with a not unpleasant clattering sound. And the whispers admonish you for your destruction of a magical artifact.
That's fine. It'll probably come back. Don't worry about it.
Kind of
And
a
then
shit-
I will redirect the second blow at the statue.
Attacking with what?
My web.
Okay.
It's kind of a shit tier magical artifact if that can break it.
That was a critical hit Kensei attack. That was... What are you talking about?
In the heart of Mount Doom. Wait, no.
That's 17 to hit. No, I'm sorry, 20 to hit.
20 will hit.
For
All I'm saying is, like, that wouldn't have broken the One Ring.
you don't know that. That's 14 magical slashing on the statue,
Okay.
and then I am going to, since the thing is dealt with, move back over here to get out of the way of Adrex.
Okay.
Whoop.
Adrix, did I already move you?
No.
Did I move everybody once? Okay. There's a change in the creature as it sustains damage. And you don't crack the ice with your blows. It's not like an ice sculpture that is brittle. The ice doesn't seem to sustain any damage, but the creature inside you can see shudder with the force of your whip. And as that happens, you see its eyes flash gray for a moment and then sink back to black. And you guys, you don't feel like you're moving, or that the creature or the shards of the sword or the goblets are getting farther away. It's more like space is being created in front of you. And I need everybody to make an intelligence saving throw.
This
DC
is against a spell or a magical effect?
Yes, it is. 100%. And your DC is 18.
Well, that explains something about dark energy. Pass.
Very dominable.
Pass for Birdie.
Passed.
Failure.
Adrex failed by how much?
I used an indomitable, so 10.
You failed it by 10? Like you rolled an 8?
Yep. I can do math. That's 12.
You failed it by 12.
Failed it by 12.
Okay.
Once he said 8, he's like, I didn't roll that.
Everybody else passed, is that correct?
Yeah.
Adrex. For everybody else, these are 5-foot squares. As space kind of stretches out in between you. That more like it feels like you're further away from the creature at the center and you're a little further away from each other. Adrex, you feel like you've retracted a much greater distance. These are now 17-foot squares for you and you alone. In other words, from your perspective, or from Wendy's perspective, you're, what's this, about 40 feet away or so? From your perspective, Wendy looks like she's 136 feet away, or rather the blackness where Wendy is standing. All of your friends are much, much farther away from you than you are from them. And that's going to be very, very bad news for Adrex.
The line tool, each of these squares is an inch, if that helps.
I've got a spreadsheet to keep track of how far you guys are away from each other. Okay, so that was Wendy's turn, and now it's the creature's turn. And I need everybody to make a saving throw. I'll know against what. A wisdom saving throw?
Is that against magic or spell?
It is. DC is 18.
Pass.
Birdie
Pass.
fails.
Birdie fails. Ayashara fails.
What do we need to hit?
18.
Oh. Indomitable. No, I'm very. I got closer.
So Birdie, Adrex, and Ayashara all failed this?
Yep.
Okay. Birdie, Adrex, and the Drow come under the effect of mass suggestion. So you are compelled to follow this course of action, and the course of action is drink deeply of my nectar. And that's going to bring us to Raazu.
Drink deep of the effluvia.
Did I hear a voice tell me to drink that, and I just shook it off?
No, you passed the saving throw. There's no effect on you at all.
But I didn't hear. But did I hear the words?
No, you did not.
Okay. And Raazu closes and
And these words were not comprised of the whispers around you. This was very clearly the creature speaking into your mind.
Okay, Raazu goes to crack her whip at the. Actually, bonus action, Branding Smite.
Okay.
So let me knock off a spell slot for that, and then I'll go crack my whip at the creature.
Iron swords have had a bad couple months around Wendy.
That is an 18 to hit.
18 will not hit. You lash out with your whip, but it ineffectively just crashes against the ice. And there's no effect to your blow.
Hang on 1 second. Let me just make sure I have now. I've. Well, I could probably suss out the AC if I did this. Will a 19 hit?
Yes.
Okay, there's the AC.
We got it, guys.
Yeah.
Time to
However,
go home.
this creature has a feature where every time you guess its AC, it gets a plus 1d4 AC.
It just changes.
All right. So, all right. But yeah, so there's that. That was my saving face feature, by the way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's see. So,
We know Raazu.
said branding smite. Yeah, I said branding smite. 2d8 plus the d4 from the whip and the d6 of coal. Oh, actually, no. I'm guessing that this thing is a. I'm guessing that this thing is a fiend.
You can guess whatever you want.
Okay.
It's gonna be very hard for you when he decides how many dice to roll.
Yeah, I'm just gonna set these D2d10s over here for now.
Yeah, I'll apply them if they're applicable, and I won't if they're not.
Okay, so that is 7 slashing, 15 radiant
Okay.
from my spell, and I need that thing to make me. Actually, no, it does not need to make any saving throw. It is. If it is invisible, it is now visible.
Okay.
And it sheds dim light of up to 5 feet.
Well, it was already shedding light,
Okay.
so it now sheds
And,
two different kinds of light.
Yeah, Osprum's light now, baby. And then the possible 12 damage from the Holy Avenger.
Okay. And the blow from
Now we
your
just
whip
need to fill up the
seemed extremely effective, and there's something soothing and reassuring about the fact that it's now glowing with Osprum's light and not just this ominous gray illumination coming up from the floor.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit it with another whip strike. Probably not. No, that's only a 13 to hit.
Won't do it.
That's going to end Raazu's turn.
Okay.
Oh, I'm supposed to take a d4 some damage, right? Some necrotic damage
Yes, you are.
From-
Thank you for reminding
from the
me.
Infernal Wound. Right.
4 points.
Ow. Does that come off
Raazu.
maximum?
I'm sorry?
Does that come off a maximum?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so override max HP, that is 135.
Raazu, I have a
Sure.
11 to hit you.
Does not hit.
Standing close to this thing, cracking with your whip, you hear a crackling sound, like ice coalescing out into space, and the creature doesn't move, but the pack ice around him kind of forms out, crystallizing in the air towards you, and tries to grab hold of your whip, but you manage to swivel around to the side, and as soon as it finds no purchase, all of the ice immediately crumbles and falls to the ground as snow.
Okay.
And that's going to bring us to Ayashara. And she has 30 feet of move. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So she'll have to dash to get to this goblet, and she starts drinking deeply of the goblet. And that's going to bring us to Red.
Huh.
That seems incorrect.
Yeah, she failed her save on the math suggestion.
Let's go there, and yeah, Ayashara gets to make another saving throw. Let me get the DC here. It's DC 17 Wisdom saving throw.
Fail, 14.
All right, suggestion: start vomiting now and don't stop.
And
In giant.
still holding the goblet, though, she spits out everything in her mouth, and she pushes her fingers down into her throat and begins to make gagging and coughing noises.
Bonus action to give Raazu advantage on her next attack against the creature in the ice.
Okay.
Move to around here, so we're maybe not quite in fireball formation, and that's the end of Red's turn.
And then there's this mysterious black icon on the order here. And then 6 miles away, there's Adrex. Adrex, I need you to roll a
Alright.
d6 before you do anything. You are more than 60 feet away from anybody.
5.
A 5. You suddenly feel this terror grip you. You're so far. Raazu and Windy are so far away, and you can barely make out what's happening up there, and you don't have dark vision, and you realize the insane danger you're in. and you are compelled to use as much of your action and movement as possible to move away from Lord Taya.
How does that?
How does that work with the compulsion to want to drink the nectar? Does the newest one have priority?
You're still compelled to drink the nectar, but this terror is much more gripping.
Okay.
And remember, these are 17-foot squares.
Cool. All right. Adrex looks out a scream. That's his movement, and that's his...
So you guys hear Adrex scream, and you see him retreating in the distance.
Can he even do 4? I don't know if he can even move 4. I think he does 3 because it's...
I think
Sorry.
it'll even out to 3 in a bit, so
Yeah.
we'll call it 3. That's fine. I know that it's gonna the math's gonna get a little weird here as we go.
A little bit.
It's tricky.
All right.
Okay, that brings us
The
back
math is
to
fun.
Birdie.
Oh boy, you know what looks tasty? I can get here.
Yeah, you start drinking deeply of the nectar.
Hey, Wendy, do something about that. I can only stop it once.
The nectar is impossibly delicious. This is like Mountain Dew throwback level delicious.
Ew.
And the more you drink of it, the more you want to drink of it. You're compelled and you're thinking, I'm going to finish this goblet, then move on to the next one. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
All right.
DC's only 10.
All right.
Are you within 10 feet of Raazu?
Looks like it.
Yes. These are
You
still...
have advantage. Is this a spell or magical effect?
Yes, it is.
You get
Oh.
advantage on this.
There's
Doesn't it
no way
feel
I
good
can
to just
fail.
be fighting garden variety fiends again, where everything they do is magic?
Plus, you can also get +5 to the save on advantage. So if you
There's
fail this,
absolutely no way I could fail.
Okay.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way I can fail being close to Raazu.
Very good. That's going to bring us to the end of Birdie's turn. That's going to bring us to the sword, which instantly reforms
Mhm.
It's rude.
and continues to chop at Raazu. You know what? No, it's going to teleport away from Raazu and it's going to chop at Windy. Don't worry, the sword has true sight, so we're fine. Windy, I have a 20 to hit.
Did I?
We were over this before break.
Yeah. No.
And I have a 13 to hit.
No.
And you're aware of the sword reforming, and it blinks into existence right next to you and slashes out, left then right. You deftly dodge the blows. And that's going to bring us to your turn.
All right. I'm going to put the candle down over here because it doesn't seem like it's doing anyone any good,
Okay.
and I don't want to take the action to douse it. And I'm going to head over here and kick Birdie for 1 point of damage. And I would like you, Birdie, to make me a Constitution saving throw.
That is.
He does get +5 to this.
This
It's
is where
like
I
a
have to decide. Do I decide to be merciful and allow her as a monk to only do 1 point of unarmed damage?
I mean, I would make the argument that as a monk, nobody is as qualified to do 1 point of damage.
I think everybody in this party except Adrex is qualified when it comes to beating up Birdie.
I
Yeah.
never beat up Birdie.
Go ahead and make that saving throw.
I failed.
Okay.
Like I rolled a 2 plus
Even
5.
with the
+7.
+5.
Yeah, I rolled a 2. My con save throw is. Oh, actually, hold on. It isn't 0. It's +5. So that's.
It doesn't
12.
matter. 12 does not beat my.
Yeah, I didn't
See.
figure it did.
Okay,
But, yeah.
so what happens?
You are stunned until the end of my next turn.
And the chalice clatters to the ground, but your compulsion to drink from it is not broken.
All right, and then I'm going to start taking chalices. No chalices but mine. I'm going to throw them off the roof.
So where are you ending your turn?
Can I scoop up? How many chalices can I scoop up?
2 from right
If I-
here when you're standing next to Birdie, because there's birdies and there's the one on the floor
I'll
here.
exit at start range in order to pick up everything.
Okay, then
if
it's
I
going to
can.
take a swipe at you.
Yeah, that's
I've got a 24 to hit.
shield.
Okay. And it clatters off your shield.
I'm not dealing with any kinds of sword nonsense today. And pick up all the chalices, and then I'm going to head off in this direction.
Okay. And that's going to bring us to Lord Taya. And you all hear the whispers intensify. All of you. And they're taunting and mocking. They're laying out in egregiously detailed vocalizations the details of your death. And I have to make sure to mark that this is used for now.
I think I know what this is.
Birdie, right next to you, the whispers congeal so much that they actually take on form of a small winged creature holding a fork, and it's cackling at you and laughing and leering over you and ready to reach down and poke at you.
I haltingly make a jerk off motion.
That's going to bring us to Raazu.
That's not what I thought would happen.
Jerk off only haltingly.
Raazu, what do?
Was I muted? I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize. Raazu crosses over, so she stands right here.
Well, first things first,
she's
Raazu
going-
can go ahead and take 1 point of damage from the Infernal Wound.
And I'm guessing one more.
One more
I'll have
necrotic
another-
comes off your max.
Yeah.
I'll make this a little easier for everyone.
Oh, is that darkness?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Looking at my options here.
That's why it's dangerous to give a player 5 new options all at once.
I know, right? Yeah, let's give this a try. First level spell gets cast.
That's
Okay, it's a
radius.
counter spell nonsense.
Nope.
Okay, then Raazu will take her swing.
For purposes of counterspell, these aren't spells. If that
Okay.
makes sense. These are things that your weapon is able to do, but I'm not dealing with it. There's probably not going to be anybody who can counterspell in this campaign anyway.
They're spell like
Might give me
abilities.
advantage on my first hit against this thing, so
Except that one random goblin that dispelled my spell that one time.
That guy sucked.
That doesn't sound like something I do.
Does a 27 hit?
Yes.
Then I need the creature to make a Wisdom saving throw, DC 18.
No problem. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
No, only 17.
it fails. Therefore, it is frightened until the spell ends, which is in 1 minute.
Sorry to say it's not.
Well, still worth a try. It's going to take some psychic damage too. That's going to be plus 6 is 10 slashing damage.
Okay.
It's going to take a d6 of psychic damage. 1 psychic damage.
Okay.
And then a possible 12 from the Radiant,
Okay.
the Holy Avenger.
Landing the blow. I mean, it's impossible to really tell, but you get the sense that the thing is not afraid of you or anything. However, for the first time, you see movement inside the ice encasement. You see the creature's face tense up, like the muscles are wincing in pain when you deal a point of psychic damage. You've not seen this happen with any other sort of damage so far.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Raazu is going to attack again with her whip. That's a 21 to hit.
Will hit.
I'm going to do just a garden variety smite on this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Wait, I
burn
thought you
third
were
level
are you a
slot for
Fey
it.
Paladin? How are you doing a garden smite? I thought Osprey
Well,
was like a pirate god.
you did make me the nature paladin instead of the conquest paladin.
Yeah, but like
Let's see,
ocean
so-
nature. I guess it'd be like a kelp garden.
Yeah, it's a seaweed garden.
Third level.
An octopus
Third
is
level. Third level smite right here is going to be 5d8s.
I suddenly want to play a paladin who, where every time they smite, you just smell flowers.
I think that's just a Fey Paladin.
8 slashing, 20 thunder damage, and a possible 12 radiant damage from the Holy Avenger.
Okay. And the thunder rings out, but it doesn't reverberate. It's as though there's nothing within 300 feet for the sound to echo off of.
Mm-hmm. Wow, so it's just one big pop, huh?
Yeah, it just kind of pops and dissipates out in all directions.
That's gonna end Raazu's turn.
Okay. I need everybody to make me an intelligence saving throw. DC is 18.
Fuck. Just let me know when one of these isn't against magic or spell.
I think all the saves in this fight are going to be against magic.
You said
Pass.
intelligence saving
Pass.
throw,
Nope.
DC what?
18.
Am I
Pass.
close enough to Raazu?
Looks like 15 feet.
Yeah, that's fit. Yeah, you're 15 feet away from Raazu.
I don't remember what it is.
I think it's only 10.
Only 10? Okay.
Yeah, it's only 10-foot radius until I hit level 17, which I'm not.
Who failed?
Then I fell by 1
Adrex
point.
did.
Okay, so Birdie, you failed by 1.
Yeah.
Birdie, these are now 6-foot squares for you. And Adrex, how much did you fail by?
13.
You failed by 13?
Poor Adrex.
I got good news.
Yeah.
Nice round number. These are all 30-foot squares for you now.
Excellent.
You can no longer see your companions. They're so far away from you. You can maybe see the movement of Raazu as she's retracting her whip barely, and you can almost not even see the darkness. You've never felt this isolated, and just the feeling of being alone in this space is starting to kind of tear at your emotions. And that's going to bring us to... That was Raazu's turn. That's going to bring us to Ayashara, who is going to
She
use...
doesn't have any goblets.
No, so she's... Oh, she's not compelled anymore.
No, she has 2 suggestions: one to vomit and one to drink.
Well, then I guess she's just going to continue to vomit, since there's nothing to drink. And that's going to bring us to Red.
I'll stop concentrating on that spell now that the goblets are out of the way.
Okay.
First of all, and then nobody's next to anybody. Let's go ahead and take a arrow shot at this guy. This sword.
At the sword?
Yep.
You have... You're blind
Darkness.
in regard to the sword, because you've got magical darkness between you and it. If you move over there, you're fine.
Yeah, 15. That should be good. Okay. Take a shot with my bow at that sword. That'll hit an armor class of, I believe it's 24.
24 will do the trick.
Okay, short bow. And the bow itself. For 39 magical piercing damage with the magical sword bow.
The sword... The sword? Yeah, the sword satyrs. That's what happens.
Let's go ahead and give Raazu advantage on our next attack against the statue again, and that's the end of Red's turn.
Okay, and I need... Birdie,
Mm-hmm.
if you would not mind... Oh, no, I rolled to hit you. I'm sorry. I was looking for what kind of save to make, but no, it's a roll to hit. I have a 24 to hit you.
That hits.
You
I'm
don't
also
sustain
stunned.
any damage. Oh, you're stunned. I get to roll at advantage. So in case I do get to critical hit, I can double my 0 dice of damage I'm about to roll.
Right.
You are grappled by the creature as this tendril of ice reaches out and lashes around. What's your primary weapon that you're holding? Are you holding your bow?
Yeah, I'm holding my bow.
Lashes around your arm where you're clutching your bow, and the ice forms all the way up your arm, as though you and this creature, the encasement of ice around you, is one. And you cannot use dexterity to escape this grapple. And bad things happen to you at the start of your turn. That's going to bring us to... That was Red's turn. It's going to bring me to my little gremlin, who's just going to stab Birdie. As the physical embodiment of the Whispers stabs at you with its fork. That was almost a crit. I've got a 9 to hit you.
9 doesn't hit, no.
And it lashes out with its fork, and you feel the poke of it, but it's like it's jeering at you more than it's trying to actually stab you with it, as it's just flitting around your head, stabbing downward. And that's going to bring us to Adrex, who I need to roll a d6.
Three.
You're overcome with self-doubt as you lose control of your emotions. You start doubting who you are and why you're here and whether what you're doing makes sense. And I suppose your highest appropriate class feature or class resource would be a superiority die.
Yeah.
You lose one. It just vanishes.
Okay.
However, you can move and act normally.
Well.
And you are still compelled to find one of these goblets and drink.
But you can't see your companions, so you have no idea where one is.
You know the vague direction they're in because you can see the light getting glowier in a particular direction, but that's all you've got.
Hey, you guys. Where are you?
Raazu, from your perspective, it's just like Adrex is about 40 feet away. You just look back and there he is. He's just a couple steps away. He should be able to run up to you this turn.
Fire plan. It moves 1 square.
Hey, you still have a dash action you can take.
No, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. There we go.
How does that look? How does that look from like an outside perspective? Does it look like he's just like dashing as fast as he can, but it's like only moving like?
It's Chariots of Fire.
Raazu, that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like Adrex is hustling in your direction, like dashing the whole time, but he's just not moving very fast. It doesn't look like he's moving on a treadmill. It looks like the intervening space is much, much larger than your eyes would tell you.
I'm fucking dying right now because all I can picture is a pit scene from Kung Pao where they keep replaying the same footage of him running. Chosen one! I'm coming! Chosen one!
Birdie, would you like to take a turn?
I'm stunned.
Oh yeah, you're stunned.
Until the end of my next action.
And the sword reforms.
So rude.
And gets to attack Birdie with advantage.
Or blame Wendy.
Birdie, I have a critical hit.
That seems not cool.
Whose fault is that?
Wendy's.
Hey man, don't go drinking no honey. It's on you.
I put it in the Kobold.
Second hit only hits a AC 13.
That misses.
9 points of slashing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And you suffer an infernal wound.
Am I still here? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you're here.
I had a memory error crash.
And after the slash, the sword teleports to Red. And that's going to bring
Spread
us
out that
to...
HP leak, huh?
Going to bring us back to Wendy.
All right. I'm going to take a couple of no. You know what I'm going to do? All right.
No, I don't. That's why
Okay.
I'm listening.
Sorry, I'm thinking to myself, 20, 25, 30, 40. I'm going to whip the guy twice.
Okay.
That's another crit
Mhm.
and a 17.
17 does not hit, but the crit will.
All right, I'm going to once again add another weapon die.
Oh, wow.
Are you billowing right now?
Yes.
Okay.
That is 33 magical slashing.
I gotta get calc.exe now. Okay.
And then I'm going to head back over here.
Moving away.
Yep.
Okay.
Right here. $75.
All right. And the whispers congeal all around you. Birdie, you get one more. And Raazu, you get one as well.
Oh, Birdie, you're not stunned anymore, by the way.
Awesome.
You are compelled to drink the nectar, though.
I don't know where the nectar is.
Oh, you saw Wendy gather up all the goblets. Don't play coy. That's going to bring us to Raazu's turn.
Raazu steps right here. Okay, there's a lot of things that I gotta handle here.
Well, first you got to take a d4 of necrotic damage.
You're right, I do.
4 points.
Thank you for reminding me.
Comes off your max.
God, you're rolling high for those, huh? Hang on one second. Let me adjust my maximum. I have to go into a separate thing to go adjust max here. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna take a hop step over this direction. Let's see. So yeah, I want to hit that thing, but I also want to hit that thing and that thing.
Wants to hit all the things.
Is there just a arcing smite or anything?
No, not quite.
Fireball smite.
Fireball smite, yeah.
Did you just rename a bunch of spells and put smite on the end? I'm gonna use the wishing smite.
It's a level 1 spell. It gives me anything I want.
Right.
Yeah, basically. Hang on a second. Something got reboogered in.
Speak with animal spite.
Smite with animals.
You just have to hit the animal with your whip.
I am going to whip that creature.
Okay.
And then then my second strike is gonna be on the boss.
Okay.
Actually, no. My first hit's gonna be on the boss. I'm gonna use a bonus action to cast Staggering Smite. That's a 4th level spell slot.
Yep.
And so that's... Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna blip that because I really need this to hit. Ooh, nice. That is a 26 to hit.
That'll hit.
On the, first it's gonna be on the boss. So that's all right. So we're looking at 46 psychic damage. 4d6. That is not 46. So you're looking at 9 slashing damage. 16 psychic damage.
16?
A possible... Yep, 16. A possible 15 radiant damage from the Holy Avenger, and I need you to make me a Wisdom saving throw, DC 18.
Pass.
Okay. No effect.
And once again, you see the muscles in the face contort as the psychic damage racks through it, and you see several hairline cracks form on the inside of the ice all around the creature's eyes.
Then my second whip attack is going to be at the one on Birdie, at the Whisper Boy.
Whisper Boy.
Birdie. Whisper Boy. Ooh, that's only a 14 to hit.
14 will not do it.
Okay. That's the end of Raazu's turn.
You're staying put there?
Yep.
We have to get rid of this thing.